Hey, it's Lauren with Bargain Bead Box, and today we're going to make a necklace using the February Floral Fantasy Collection. So from the box, I've already got this open. I don't know where I put my bag, but here we're using the 8mm hematite coated blue beads there. We've got our crystal ovals. We're going to be using some of our bead caps, our lapis pendant, our really pretty flower clasp here. We're going to be using some of our flower spacers, our oval lampwork bead, the 30 by 27 millimeter flower pendant. That's upside down in the bag, but yeah. Our 8mm crackle agate, our bicone beads, and some more of our crystal triangles. So a little bit of a lot of different items are going to go into this. I'm going to get this all opened up. The only items that I'm adding are some very basic stringing material and findings. I've got YR5004 from beadboxbargains.com. It's just a tiger tail there. I'm going to be using some jump rings. This is DUP-ring 117 and one eye pin. I've got pin 552, but use whatever you like. And I'm going to finish off my tiger tail with some crimp beads. These are fine 1011, and some clamshell bead tips. These are fine 2130. All right, I'm going to get this all out of the package and ready to go. All right, so we're making kind of an asymmetrical design, and I'm going to use this piece. And to start out, I'm going to make my focal. So I'm going to go ahead and take this eye pin. I'm going to get it through one of the loops on this 2-loop focal. And now I'm going to put on a hematite bead there. And I'm going to stick it back through the second loop. All right, so I'm going to cut this down and make another loop right on top here. So I'm going to trim it down to about maybe like 1/3 of an inch. And now I'm going to grab the tip and curl it down forward. I'm going to grab at the base, tip it backward, just to make a nice little round. Yeah, we'll just bring it closed. And there's a nice little round loop. Gonna make sure I got that all the way nice and closed. And there we go. So now you've got loop at the top and at the bottom of your focal here. And we're gonna have it kind of sideways. I'm gonna take my lapis pendant and I'm gonna pull off this bail here. So you can see it's got an opening there. I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on the top part of the loop so I bend it backward, and that way I can slip it off easily. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is attach that to this lower loop of the hematite there. I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it falls. If it wants to sit 2 sideways, I'll use 2 rings, but we'll start out using 1. So I'm going to pull this jump ring open here. And you always want to kind of fold it towards or away from you. You don't want to uncurl it. I'm going to put my pendant. You do want to make sure that it's facing the same way as your floral pendant. We'll see how this hangs. It will spin a bit because you've got this bit here. Once we have our beaded portion on, it'll hold it in place a little better. All right. So again, we're going kind of an asymmetrical look. We're going to make a beaded chain, and one attachment point is going to be up here. The other one's going to be right over here. I'm going to feature the clasp in front for this design because I think that'll be fun. So this clasp comes held together by a jump ring. I'm just going to open up that jump ring and pull off the bar here. It's such a pretty bar. Look at that. Now I wonder if this jump ring is going to be big enough to use. I'll try it, and if it's too small, I'll just swap it for one of these. All right, so I'm going to go, there's one little loop here in the middle, right where these 2 petals meet. It's kind of towards the back though. So I'm going to see if this jump ring will reach through it, and if not, I will grab a bigger one. I'm just going to use the bigger one anyway. I don't want it to be, I want to make sure it hangs right. So these are, I think, an 8mm, somewhere around there. Alright, so I've got my pendant here, and again, I want to make sure that both the pendant and the toggle are facing up the same direction. And now I'm going to try to take this back and get it through. Hang on, hold on to this and not the toggle, that would be helpful. Get it through that little V-shaped center hole. I might have to flip it over for that. That might be easier. Tell you what, I'm going to worry about this. I'm going to open this a little more. I'm going to worry about this first, and then I'm going to put the toggle on because I'm having a hard time holding both. Getting ahead of myself. That is much easier. Look at that. Yay. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that the toggle faces the same way up. The toggle ring there. Okay, and now I'm just going to close that jump ring again. Hopefully I haven't bent it too much. Not my best job, but just squeeze it a little bit to line it up better. And then we'll fold it. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so we're going to have our toggle right there. And this is kind of going to be our centerpiece. Now we're going to have a beaded chain that starts here and goes all the way around and then connects via the toggle to our pendant there. So I'm going to cut some tiger tail and we will start beading. Alright, so I've cut about 2 feet of tiger tail. You're not going to need quite that much, but I always like to have a little extra to work with, just in case. And now I'm going to I'm going to get a crimp bead, and I'm going to get one of our clamshell bead tips. I'm going to string the tiger tail through the little hole in the base of the clamshell there, on like that. Now I'm going to string through the crimp bead, and one trick I like to use to give it just a little more to grip is to coil the wire around and back through the base of that crimp bead, like so. It just helps it, I find it helps prevent breakage. And this is another reason I give myself extra to work with. Alright, now usually I would get my 2-step crimping pliers out and make that look nice, but we're about to cover it up by a clamshell, or with a clamshell bead tip, so no one's ever going to see it again. I'm just going to use my chain nose pliers and give it a good squish. So I'm more concerned about it holding than I am about it looking pretty, so that's fine. Now I will take my wire cutters and I'm going to trim close to the edge of that crimp. There we go. Now I'm just going to take my bead tip, pull it up here, and gently close it over that crimp. I'm going to give it a gentle squeeze. You can use nylon tip pliers if you like. I struggle with them because of my wrists. I have tendinitis, so I like the chain nose, but nylon ones will help avoid any marks on your bead tips. Okay, so we're ready to start stringing. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the side over here, I think. So I'll go ahead and attach the toggle bar there, just so I can have a good visual of what I am doing. And also so my wire doesn't move around the screen quite so much. It'll help weigh it down, make it hopefully a little easier to follow. Alright. Close that jump ring up. And there we go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to string on is a crystal bicone. And then I'm going to do a crystal triangle, followed by a nice dark blue agate bead. And these agate beads do vary a lot, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry. There's going to be a lot of color variation, but if you have one that matches your pendant sort of, now's a good time to use it, one of those deep indigo ones. Alright, so another crystal triangle there. Okay, and now let me move this off the screen for the time being so we have more room to see what we're looking at. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on, or at least get ready to put on, our lampwork oval. I really wanted to incorporate this piece into a design this month because I just love the texture, and I think this is a fun way to do it. So we're going to surround it with bead caps, and then inside that floral bead cap, I'm going to put a 4mm bicone. So bead cap facing up, and the little bicone inside it. And that just looks really sparkly and fun. And it helps hold this large whole lampwork bead in place. So now we're going to string on our lampwork focal. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? And now we'll do another bicone. And our other bead cap. Facing down towards the lampwork focal. There we go. I think that just looks so fun. You got the sparkles. This one, let's see, sitting in that cap a little more than this one is. There's a slight bit of variation to the bicones, but I don't hate it actually. I think it's cute. Okay, we're going to stick with that. Let's do another crystal triangle. And then another one of these agate rounds. Another crystal triangle. And now I'm going to do one of these crystal oval beads. I think they echo the shape of the focal very nicely. And now I'm going to do another crystal triangle, agate bead, and crystal triangle. Okay. So that completes sort of a pattern set. Now I'm going to do a flower spacer, and I'm going to go up from the bottom towards the top. So string through the hole between the two petals. It comes out the top where there's just one petal at the top. And I'm going to do in here, we're going to do a bicone, one of the hematite beads, and another bicone. And that finishes that segment. With another, we'll do another flower again up from the bottom towards the top. And then we'll do another crystal triangle, 8mm agate crystal triangle. And that will be on either side of our crystal cylinder here. Okay, so we're gonna, this is our basic pattern. I'm gonna do another triangle, 8mm agate. I might save that blue one for the front. Triangle. And we're gonna go around, and eventually we're gonna be getting towards the back of the neck. And I think at this point we're still gonna go up through the bottom of this flower. And then we'll do another bicone, hematite bead, bicone. But now this is going to be pretty close to the back of the neck. So I'm going to switch here and start with these flowers, start going through, let's see, start going through the top hole towards the bottom. So we're going through the single petal, it'll come out between the two petals. And this is just going to kind of make the flowers face the same way on both sides of the necklace since it closest in the front. Alright, another crystal triangle, 8mm agate and crystal triangle. And then, of course, we'll need another crystal cylinder. And we'll repeat the crystal triangle pattern here with another agate and another crystal triangle. Okay, time for another metal flower, again going through that single petal towards the bottom, and that's just so they'll look like they're facing the same direction when you're wearing this as a necklace. And then after that we have a bicone, hematite, bicone. I may need to grab myself a few more crystal triangle beads here. I've still got a bunch on my strand. Here we go. I underestimated the number I would need. Now I have plenty. And that is one thing I like about this design. Here's another flower, is that it uses a little bit of a lot of different things, but you also have a bunch of beads left over, which is fun. All right, triangle. Nice blue agate triangle. And then we have a cylinder. And it's time for another triangle agate. Ooh, that one has some fun purple and white in it. I love that triangle. Okay. And now once again, from the single to the double petals of the flower, here we are going to do 2 bicones, hematite bead, and you can of course stop this pattern anytime you feel your necklace is long enough and you're happy with the length. I'm going to do, let's see, probably one more repetition just of the part with the cylinder here. Alright, so I'm going to use a really blue bead since this is towards the front. I'll try to actually I'm going to use a darker blue bead at the top. And we'll use the lighter blue bead closer to the bottom just to kind of balance, hopefully, that bright blue there. And if you don't have a brighter blue bead on your strand, it's really not a big deal. Use whatever colors you have. The beauty of this piece is the natural stones, and there are a lot of variations in those. Okay, so now I'm going to do one last flower bead, one last crystal bicone, and I'm going to end it here because the next bead in our pattern would be the hematite bead, which is going to be in our focal. So that's going to attach. I'm making a mess now, but at least we're done with the beading part. We're going to just attach this here. So I'm going to stop my pattern there. You can keep going if you want it longer, totally up to you. But now I'm going to finish my strand. I'm going to take a clamshell tip and I'm going to very carefully open it and kind of flatten it so that I can pull my beads up close. Again, we're going to string it through that center hole. And now I'm going to put my crimp bead on. And once again, I'm going to go around and back through just to help hold it. Now, something I like to do when I am finishing my strands is kind of curl them a little bit just to make sure I leave enough give in that tiger eye. You don't want to have it too loose where the beads slide around once it's crimped, but you don't want them all like backed up on top of each other either. That's how edges of crystal gets worn and it just doesn't look as shiny. So I try to give it enough space to move naturally, but not too much space. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and, with some tension on that cord to keep that loop small, I'm just going to go ahead and give this a good squeeze with my chain nose pliers. Again, I use my 2-step crimper if anyone was ever going to see this, but they are not. Now I'm going to trim this down. And all that's left to do is very carefully fold up this clamshell tip over our crimp bead. I'll make sure I catch it all inside there. All right, I'm going to give that a gentle squeeze with my pliers to try to keep that together. And I love the 2-loop design because I never feel the need to glue these. If you're going to have it on a jump ring, it's going to hold both of those loops anyway. It's not going anywhere. All right, so this end is already finished. It will attach through the clasp. All we have left to do now is loop this end around and connect it to our top loop here using a jump ring. Here we are. So I'm just going to swing that ring open. I'm going to put it through both the loops on my clamshell bead tip and then this loop here on the top of our necklace. I'm going to close it up And I'll see how it hangs. If I feel like it's hanging sideways, yeah, I may actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw another jump ring on that focal, just to, I really want to see that pretty floral bit there. So going to put, actually I'll just go ahead and close this, take that off and close it, and then open this ring. We'll see if that makes it hang a little more nicely. Okay, so I think I want to go this direction. I may have it backwards, in which case I'll be doing this again. And that looks nice. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move all of these things off so I can just show you the necklace. All right, so we've got kind of an asymmetrical pattern here. You've got your fun lapis pendant. You've also got the bright blue lampwork focal there. And we've got our clasp in the front, which I think is really fun. You get kind of that two-tone silver look with the light silver on your pendant and clasp and the darker silver on that fun floral medallion. So yeah, this is a very simple necklace, but I always love a clasp in the front. I like the way that it looks. I really wanted to pull in this lampwork bead because I love it. And using it with the dark blue lapis, I think really balances the design and gets you a lot of different fun blue tones in one piece. And that is our tutorial for today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'd love to know what you think of this necklace and in the comments. And also, I would love to see what you've created with your bargain bead box. You can always join us at the Facebook group, Bargain Bead Box Creative Corner on Facebook. And you will find amazing designs shared by our members there. Plus, we'd love to see yours. So yeah, we'd love for you to join us there. If you're a Bargain Bead Box member, you got all of the beads in this necklace plus a bunch more for just $22.99, including shipping in the USA. If you are not a member, if you join now, you will start with March's beads. We would love for you to join us by March 9th to get the March box. However, we do have a few floral fantasy collections left on our sister store website, beadboxbargains.com, available at $32.99. Including free shipping in the USA there as well. And it is over an $80 estimated retail value, so still a great deal. We would love for you to join us and get future collections even cheaper. Thanks so much, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us. I, again, always appreciate you being here. Love to see what you make. And yeah, thanks so much to all our members. I really couldn't do this without you. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.